Hey, in this video we'll be talking about conditionals in C#. Conditionals help you make decisions in your program. So very useful for games. I'm in Visual Studio and I have my Hello World program, and I'm going to just convert this into a sort of command prompt thing. It's going to ask you to enter a command and it'll do stuff depending on what the command is. So I'm going to change Hello World to please enter a command. Now normally when you prompt someone for input, you'd tell them what the acceptable input is, but I'm not going to do that. Just going to move on. I'm going to make a string variable, call it input, and we will console.readline to get some input from the user. And then we can check what that input is. So in C# we have a statement, an if statement, and we can check the input to see if it is equal to something else, some other string. So using equal sign, so a double equals, is going to be our comparison operator for equality. So I can check to see what the command was. Let's say if I compare it to the string count, then this block, this body of code after the if statement, is going to be executed only if the input is count. So you can also do a single line after the if statement instead of opening a new code block. So I'll do that too. Let's count. Alright, so that's one command that I've put into my my console here. So another command, if we don't say count, else, let's say console.writeLine, that is not a valid command. Alright, so now we can test it out. Enter a command, count. 1, 2, 3. Something else, not a valid command. Alright, so I've used an else clause to say if this isn't true, if this didn't evaluate to true and this code didn't get executed, else do this instead. So you can also combine these, if and else. You can say else if the input is, say, add. Then you can put in some more commands. So we have if, we have else, and we have else if. And so we've only been using this equals sign, but we could do other comparisons. So when you use this double equals, it compares these two sides, and the result you get out of that expression is a Boolean expression, either true or false. If it's true, then you execute the then block of the if statement. If it's false, then you skip it. So I'm actually going to change this, let's change this to compare instead of add. So if you type in compare, it's going to do this code. Alright, so I want to compare two numbers. What is the first number? So we're going to ask for a number, console.readline, and then I need a variable to store that number into. I'm going to make it a floating point variable. Let's call it first number. And I'm going to use float.tryParse. And I'm going to be parsing our input and outputting it into the first number variable. Alright, now I can copy this code over again what is the second number, and change all these to say second. So now we have two numbers from the user, and we're going to compare them. Okay, first, are they equal? For that, we'll use the equality operator, the double equals. So first number double equals second number. And so this will evaluate to either true or false, depending on if they're equal or not. There is also a not equals, which is similar, except it uses an exclamation point equals. Then there is less than, greater than, and those use the angle brackets. And then there's less than or equal and greater than or equal. Alright, so those are all the comparisons we can do between numbers, but there's still a couple more operators you can do between booleans themselves. If you want to say if first number is greater than second number minus 5, and, so use a double ampersand to mean and, first number is less than second number plus 5. So this comparison would do this first part, checks to see if first number is greater than second number minus 5, and then it checks to see also if first number is less than second number plus 5. If both of these expressions are true, then the AND operation will evaluate to true, and then we'll get to do the then part of this if statement. So if that's true, then they are within 5 of each other. Alright, so that's how the double ampersand AND works. There's also a double vertical bar, which is for OR. If first number is less than 0, or first number is greater than, let's say, 10,000. That is a crazy number. Alright. Let's try this out. So what command was it? Compare. And let's see what it does. Compare. What is the first number? 56. Second number is 10.5. Are they equal? No. Not equal? Yes. Less than, so 56 is not less than 10.5. Greater than, yep. And those should be the same as well. Alright, cool. Now let me put in a crazy number for my first number. Compare. Second number should be, let's also do negative 100. So they are equal, and they are less than or equal, greater than or equal. They're within 5 of each other, and that's a crazy number. Cool. That all works. Great. So I've done this with just stringing together if, else if, else if, else if. You can keep going on and do a whole other bunch of commands. But there's another way to do this sort of pattern using a switch statement. So if I did switch and pass in my input my string. I can do the same sort of thing using these case keywords. Case, what was it, count, and then I can do console.write line 1, 2, 3 break. And I can do other cases, case compare. I'm not going to write all of that again, and so on. So I could replace all of the if and else if that I had with this switch statement. It's more limited in use, but it does simplify this sort of testing of variables. So I don't have to just do strings. I can do integers, and I can check. I can do different cases depending on what the value of the integer is, and so on. Alright, so that's how conditionals work in C#. I will see you next time.